question is, should you send your kids to college? The pro-Hamas protests on college campuses across the country have been another glaring sign that, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't spend $90,000 a year to send my kids to this place on purpose. Maybe that's not a great use of time or money. I should say here that I went to Yale, so that's my credibility on this issue as I lived it from the inside. I was the token conservative on campus. There were a few of us, but things were not as crazy then as they are now. And now we graduated in 2007. On my radio show, someone called in and they needed some advice, and it came from a really genuine place. He and his family were deciding if their high school senior son should go to college for marine biology or go to welding school. And we ended up talking about this for like 3 days on the radio. People called in, got a ton of emails, and it was great. A really good question. And the dad called back in and said, Slater, my son has a passion for the ocean. So I'll spare you the whole thought process of it all. But the best conclusion, I think, came from my brother-in-law with the thickest country accent. I can't simulate it. He said, here's what you got to do. Go to welding school, become a welder. Work your brains out for 6 years and become a master welder. And I work 100-hour weeks, travel the world welding. Then you own your own welding shop. And then you get other people to weld for you, and the money starts pouring in, and then you go study the ocean all day long. You can become a regular Jacques Cousteau all on your own because you're a master welder. I think there's Jacques. I think you could weld your own submarine. I think that's the plan. Some people said, you could become an underwater welder. It's pretty good too. But I think that's the right play. You go to welding school first. For a long time, the argument was go to college, and then, if you want, you can always become a welder. I think the right play is don't go to college, do the welding, and if you want to study history, just read a book and get a lot of money in the meantime. Save a lot of money for not giving it to these universities. But it's more than saving money. You may also save your soul. Colleges have become very different than what they were, not even that long ago, but certainly what they were a long time ago. So now, you're paying up to $90K a year for a place that's not just useless, but in many cases wicked and bad, and not a place you should drop your daughters off or your sons. Colleges went from a good thing then to a pretty useless thing, but whatever, it's $100 a semester, then to a useless and expensive thing, and now they're a bad thing. I know that maybe sounds dramatic, right? I can't tell you the emails I got from listeners on the radio show, which, by the way, is simulcast here on the First TV every weekday from 7 to 9 in the morning. And I got one guy sent me an email. He has 2 nieces, 2 nephews. The nephews went to Clemson and Virginia Tech. The nieces went to Cornell and Columbia. And they came back totally different. He said he came back, Black Lives Matter, all this woke nonsense out at the wazoo. Got an email from one mom, sent her son to Duke. One of our guests, we were coming up, went to Duke. And he met a girl. They both went to get their doctorates at Columbia and Cornell. And now they think their family's a bunch of racist, homophobic, misogynistic, transphobic, right? All the words, right? I got flooded with emails like that. It is risky to send your kids to college. And that could be true even at the Clemsons or whatever. I mean, they had all these other schools, West Virginia, Virginia Tech, they all had pro-Palestine rallies. Nothing like at Columbia, but it's all still there. And we drop our kids off there on purpose. The USC, University of Southern California commencement speaker, there was a whole controversy with her. They canceled her or whatever. The whole thing, it doesn't matter. But the valedictorian, she was a biochemical engineering major, and she minored in resistance to genocide. I thought that was a joke. I thought that was just she spends a lot of her time protesting, huh? Kind of like, you majored in history and minored in beer pong. I thought it was a joke. But it was a real thing. It's a real minor. You can minor in resistance to genocide. And there's all these people how could this have ever happened on college campuses? What's going on? I don't know. You can literally study it. Like they teach it. So school for a long time was good. Started off as seminaries. And then it became a joke. 13th grade. Adult daycare. There was a school near where I grew up, Hobart, and called it Camp Ho-Ho. They did a survey. This was back in the day, 2003. It's worse now. These are full-time college students. It's what they do, their day-to-day, daily life. And they calculated in-class instruction. In class is 1.2 hours a day, and then homework and other educational activities is 1.6 hours. So we'll round up 3 hours a day of school for a full-time college student. That's just like the bare minimum necessary to even keep the pretense of drinking camp alive. You know what I mean? Like how little actual school do we need to do here to keep up the ruse that this is really just a giant drinking orgy before and after the football game? You know what I mean? Like, can we do 2 hours of school a day? No, we can do 3. Okay, we'll do 2. We'll see if we can get away with 2 hours of school. Oh, what a joke. Fun. Oh, don't get me wrong. Super, super fun. College is super fun. But it's not school. Now, I always get an email from some mom. My daughter's a pre-med major. Okay, there are some, maybe 10% of the campus is going for school. The other 90% is there because, I don't know, well, it's fun. It's Chuck E. Cheese with booze. I don't know, you get to party all the time. And maybe that was okay for a while, but now it's not just that. Now it's expensive for that, but now it's even worse because your kids may come back very different people than you've raised them for 18 years. If you value learning and becoming a better person, it's harder to find these days. I don't know much about this school. I have a buddy who went there. It's a school in Annapolis. It's called St. John's College. It's a real classical school. They read the great books. Their marketing picture, it's not of the cool new dorm rooms or the, with the lazy river or partying at the quad or the sorority girls at University of Alabama, glamming their dorm, whatever. Or the student section of the football game. Which, by the way, I love all those things. But this is their marketing picture right here. That's just a stack of the books you read. Those are the classics. The reading list. You want to read those? You want to talk about it with other people who want to read those? You want to learn about it from professors who spend their life reading those? You go to that school. You want to go to football games? I don't know, Penn State's a great place for that. Or Michigan. You go to Michigan, it'd be great. It'd be awesome to go to the big house. I've never been, but that seems great. I feel bad for the parents who have to make that decision, or I should say who have had to make the decision the last 8 years or so. Because, should I send my kids to college now? Because it's I want them to be successful. But now it's becoming more and more obvious that that's just not necessarily true. And maybe a bad thing to send your kids to these places. I'm hoping that in the next 10 years, by the time my oldest son is 17 and thinking about college or welding school, I'm hoping there's more options. I'm hoping there's more St. John's, more Hillsdales out there, more options of what college used to be. And maybe these colleges won't have a sick student section at the football games. But their kids will go and learn, become better people, and still have their soul. And never come home in a Che Guevara t-shirt. Added bonus there too.